Hi, my name's Tony and I'm from the SUP Company, and I'm here to tell you a little bit more about the brand new 2019 Starboard 14x28 Airline. So here we have it, the all-new Starboard 2019 14x28 All-Star Airline. And I say all new, well, it's very, very similar to the outgoing model in 2018 that we had, bar some few key changes. Overall, when it was first introduced in 2018, the Starboard Airline was a huge success for us and for Starboard. It was easily our best-selling performance board in 2018, performance inflatable that is. And it was just exceptional. It really caught fire in terms of everyone out there paddling, and everyone particularly that came to our test centre to see the board, and you can come and paddle this board at our test centre. It was very quickly, very, very evident just how quick these boards are and how stable and also how easy to use they are as well. But look, let me take you through from the board, from the nose down to the tail. The nose of the board, though, is probably one of the most important features on the Airline, and we've got that removable nose cone system with the 4 hooks and then the aramid fibre that runs over and hooks over onto those and allows us to adjust the level of tension within the board, because that string runs all the way to the underside of the board, all the way back down the centre line to the fin box, and it allows us to adjust the tension and stiffness of the Starboard Airline. There's a couple of compression stringers that run down the centre of the board, so that's marked out these grey areas here. They're tied into the Starboard branding across. The board itself, though, is very, very slender in the forward sections. In flat water particularly, it's very, very noticeable up against other similar class boards just how refined this nose is. It throws very, very little water up into the air, and it engages its full length, particularly in this version, the standard version of the Airline, in the water, allowing you to achieve all of the maximum amount of glide that you can out of a 14-foot board. There is also the downwind version of this board, which runs a little bit more nose rocker in the front and just stops any purling and allows you to ride bumps and downwind, particularly with the board over and above the standard Airline model. It's a bit more responsive. So if you are spending a lot of time out in the open sea, downwinding, or just running around in some chop, then it's worth considering the downwind over and above the standard Airline model. Running back down though through the board, what's a great feature to see is the cargo net fitted to the 14x28. It became very clear to us in 2018 just how much of a GT type model board this was, in that it makes a really, really good fast touring board, and we actually ended up fitting a number of bungee nets to customers' boards for them because they wanted to encompass an efficient, fast touring shape, raceboard shape, and have all the benefits of a small cargo net on the front end. Back down, a couple of offset handles there for beach starts. We've then got an FCS slot there in the centre, so we can fit something like a Starboard star mount, which will then work with ram mounts and allow you to carry everything from a cup holder to a gun on the front of the board to everything else in between, and a handy GPS or phone. The biggest change though in the Airlines in 2019 is this EVA deck pad that is on the outside of the main standing area. If you paddle a composite board from Starboard, like the All-Star or even the Sprint or the Ace, you have this feeling in which you're in kind of a dugout and you're locked into the board. And on pretty much any inflatable on the market, you don't get that feeling or that sensation. Starboard have recognised that, and then in all the Airlines in 2019, they've taken this long extruded section of EVA down each side of the board, and it just adds a level of security and ultimately stability that you've never seen before in an inflatable. And what on paper seems a small change, in reality when you're out paddling, it's huge. And it just allows you to grow much more in confidence and put even more power down in each stroke, which ultimately means that you're going to cover more distance, more race course, that much quicker. The only impact that it has in a negative way is actually when the board packs up. The board can't be folded in that area, so you end up with less of a rectangle bag and more of a square finished bag. So the overall dimensions of the board when packed, because it has to be folded and not rolled, is slightly larger. So it's worth bearing in mind if storage is an issue, but to be honest, given the performance of the board, I'd probably find a way of storing it because it is that good. As you work your way back down the board though, you move away from a diamond cut deck pad down to a standard crocodile skin finish. That runs down, there's a flared kick tail pad, kick pad on the back end of the board, so when you are at that racing mark and you're on the back of the board for a quick tail turn, you can do that with good foot placement and know that you're not going to run off the back of the board. Leash fixing point and then the valve back there as well, reminding us that you have to inflate the board to between 15 to 18 psi in order to get the best out of this Starboard Deluxe construction. But look, let's take the board now and just flip it over, and you can really see when I do this the outline of the board and just how fine the entry point of the nose is. But that really refined outline runs back, and you can see down the center here the Starboard Airline system, the way in which it wraps all the way around the underside of the board and runs back to the fin box. We've left the fin out, and the fin is a 9-inch FCS2 touring fin, but we've left the fin out so you can see the extra tail of the airline, so you've got a level of adjustment at the fin box as well as you have on the nose. Rounding out the tail of the board though, on the underside, you can see that Starboard have once again fitted this hard release edge, which just gives a much cleaner release off an inflatable than you get with other brands, and it just makes the board feel that little bit quicker. Overall though, the Starboard Airline 14x28 for 2019 it is without a doubt going to be one of our best-selling models once again for the year, particularly with the refinement and improvements that Starboard have made. So if you get one, well, you're going to be one of the lucky few, as we find that they sell out as soon as they hit. So give us a shout in the shop if you want any more details. Thanks for watching our video. If you've got any questions about what you've seen, why not head over to our website, thesupco.com, or give us a call in the office or drop us an email. If you want to check out our next video, then have a look up here. Alternatively, if you want to stay up to date with our latest video, then make sure you subscribe up here and click on the notification bell. Thanks for watching.